and welcome to a special edition of Delight in Fright. I am talking with Dylan A. Young, who is a creator of The Fool and The Creature of Blood Lake. So, two films in Spooky Empire. That's got to be quite an accomplishment for you.
Yeah, it's been great too. The first screening I ever had was a film called Better Safe Than Sorry, and it played at 2021 Spooky Empire.
Okay.
And I've gotten a new project of mine in each year since. So this is my fifth year with a screening at Spooky Empire, and I got two films in, so I was very happy for that.
Nice. So consecutive since 2021. You've nice. Do you work with the same people? Do you mix up your team a little bit?
I try to build my team. Like with
Okay.
each short, I like to try to bring somebody new into the fold and think about like, okay, what's something that I know somebody that can do this job better than I can, and I try to like let the family grow a little bit.
Mhm. So, what is it about these stories that had to be told for you?
Yeah, so both of these were contest films with like pretty interesting parameters. The Fool was a 1 minute film showcase where the theme of the month was Fool, and you had 1 month to make it. And I was just thinking a lot about like what foolishness meant to me and thinking about drunken foolishness, but also trying to relate everything back thematically to the tarot and like visually to the tarot as well. The Creature of Blood Lake, I mean, we were just making a silly throwback horror that's we shot it on video, and we used a camera from the 90s, ran all the sound through that camera, and it was for a fake movie trailer contest. That was a lot of fun, and it was my first foray into like doing comedy and also like lo-fi aesthetic.
Awesome. So, what were some of the challenges you came across in filming these?
You know, The Fool, I have to say, was like a really easy process, but the big challenge for that is it's two shots and it's a 1 minute time constraint, but one of the shots is almost the whole length of the film and it's incredibly talky. So it was all about like every time I would say action, I start a stopwatch and I've got to make sure that like he does this whole 1 minute monologue within like a certain 10-second range. So it was like about 30 takes of that one shot, but it totally paid off. For The Creature of Blood Lake, the time constraints of doing a fake movie trailer over a 2 week period was difficult, but there was just so many pre-pro issues that we ran into. Originally, we were going to shoot in Nashville, Tennessee, ended up shooting in southern Indiana in the aftermath of one of the hurricanes last year, and we were shooting all exteriors. So at the last minute, I was like, okay, we can't use anyone else's gear. I'm not doing rentals and insurance. Like, we're shooting something on video, and we're going to make it look like a homegrown horror film from like the late 80s, early 90s.
Nice. So, what were some of the most enjoyable things of shooting movies?
I mean, I just love getting on set with my friends and getting to make new stuff and just being able to like flex the creative muscle, especially like as someone, it's like I want to pursue writing and directing as my career, and there's not a lot of opportunities to do that. So it's like, I can count every day I've been on set as a director, and it's like just the chance to be able to get back into it and prove myself and get to work on things that matter to me is like really what was most important to me.
Awesome. So, what's next? What can we expect next year at Spooky?
Well, hopefully the two projects I wrapped up last month will be at Spooky next year. So we just did a proof of concept short film that is for a feature film, hopefully getting that together. It is a home invasion thriller called Another Day in the Neighborhood. And then I also did a different contest last month. That's the same contest that I did The Creature of Blood Lake for the Knoxville Horror Film Festival's Grindhouse Grind Out. We won the grand prize this year. It was very fun. We made a alien invasion thriller called The Visitors.
Nice. That had to be difficult with a small budget to do sci-fi. A lot of people think that that's you have to have money to do it, but not always if you're creative.
It's interesting. The theme for that festival this year was sci-fi. And so going into the contest, knowing that a lot of the genres we could pull from the draft would be sci-fi had me nervous. And I talked to my director of photography and we were looking at the genres and he goes, oh, alien invasion sounds fun. And I go, man, I've got an insane alien mask. Maybe we'll get that. And I got like sixth pick and we were able to get our first choice, which was the alien film. And we approached it like an old Carpenter film from like the 80s or 90s where it's like Village of the Damned or like Starman, The Thing. The approach was initially like humans as aliens, and you see them as they are, which kind of helped with some of the budgetary
Kind of
constraints.
like They Live type of
Absolutely
beat.
like They Live, but then it just kind of
Sometimes I wonder if that's for real sometimes, the way
Oh,
people start acting
yeah.
these days.
right. No, I don't blame you at all.
So it's definitely timely.
Yes. Oh, big time for sure.
So are those shot already or are they in the works?
Shot, edited, turned in all last month. The Visitors was a 1 day shoot, 1 day edit, and Another Day in the Neighborhood was a 3 day shoot, and it took us about a week in post. I feel pretty good about both projects. I'm excited to see how they do on the circuit.
Awesome. I'll definitely be looking out for those. So where can we see some of your past films from other spookies?
Yeah, so I've got a bunch of my past films up on Vimeo. It's just Dylan A. Young on Vimeo. If you find me on Facebook or Instagram under the same in my link tree in my bio, you'll be able to find my Vimeo page. But one thing that you won't be able to find there is on YouTube. I had a film recently released on Film Shortage called Sorry for the Mess. And it is a suicide awareness PSA film.
Nice. Very nice. Absolutely. Very important.
Yeah.
I love that. So what do you see as the future of independent film? Are you pessimistic or optimistic?
Oh, there's always a place for independent film. And I think that the cool thing about independent film is they're films that people just want to make. And it's not movies made because there's money there, because there's the concept of wanting to make money a lot of the times, you know? I think there's always going to be a place for independent film. I think that there's, a lot of conversation right now about a potential studio collapse. Hollywood's falling apart, I think people are really looking towards indie cinema. There's also a very full landscape of indie cinema right now. There's so much being made that, like, you get on Tubi and people joke about playing like Tubi roulette with horror films, and it's just like we just see what we want and we turn it on. So there's so much out there. I think that there's always just gonna be a ton of independent cinema, and especially independent horror cinema.
Awesome. So why the life of a filmmaker is as difficult as it is?
It's incredibly difficult. I worked on a film in 2019 called Death Ranch. It was the first film that I worked as a crew member on. And whenever I left that set for the final time, I got all emotional. I said, this is just what I have to do with my life. I just knew there was just like not much more than that. It just felt right. And I felt like I would be a fool to not invest my life into this.
Awesome. I love that. You found your calling. Well, you are definitely welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It has been such a pleasure talking with you. And I want to show you how we say goodbye here at Delight and Fright.
Okay.
We're big fans of Cthulhu.
Okay.
So we do a little tentacle action.
Tentacle action. Okay, right on. Bye.
Hello, boils and ghouls. It's your old pal, John Kassir, the voice of the Crypt Keeper. And I want to thank you for listening to Delight and Fright with your hosts, Luna and Cat, a podcast for outcasts.